What we are dealing with, say for better, for worse. That's the language of the old timers, Orthodox churches, if I would use that word. Whilst they are doing wedding, they are joining couples. Part of the vow that they are meant to make to each other is that the commitment they are making is for better and is for what? Worse. But the new generation churches somehow has found a way to remove it from the syllabus. Unfortunately, that you removed it, that there is nothing like worse, doesn't mean that the experience of the marriage will just be rosy. All right? The journey of the marriage will be like the graph of crypto. It will go up, it will come down, it will come up. It does not stay up in everything, in everywhere, in every time. However, your interpretation to the state is what we decide whether it's up or what down. Before I married, my wife said that if she found me living in a hole, she will consider the place to be a palace. So it doesn't mean that it's not a hole, but her psyche and her mindset towards that hole will not be of depravity or somebody who will say, I don't have the best. But she will say, you see this place, that's where I am married to. And that is what? A palace. As a matter of fact, eventually when I married her, we're planting this Enugu church, and she was meant to be part of the system. So my whole plan was, let's let a house in Enugu, let her stay here, and then I'll be coming to see her and then plan my transfer. But in the process of our marriage, my father died like a month to my wedding, if I'm not mistaken, or two. Because I wedded on 10th April, my father was buried 14th May. So all the money that I had was now moved into the burial, which means that I could no longer afford that 3-bedroom flat that was 350,000 that time. And she had to come to Nnewi and live with me. And I was living in Sefcon. All right. I think I had a phone, and it was one I bought from somebody that I inherited the house from. All right. We didn't have any furniture at all. In fact, the only furniture we had then that made sense was television and home theater that I bought when she had said she was not going to marry me again. I said, if I'm living my life for this girl, I was saving to marry her and all that. I was not buying things for myself. I just wanted. But now she now says she's not marrying again. I said, okay, let me now start taking care of myself. That was when I now went and bought some things. I bought fridge, I bought home theater, I bought television. When I come back from work, when I married, if there is light, that's the only thing she will be watching. That's the only thing that made sense in that small room. Are you following what I'm saying now? Okay, but July was my birthday, and I normally give offerings to God during my birthdays. And so I had told God that, I'm coming from burial, I'm coming from wedding, I've spent, I've borrowed, I have nothing to give you. I have not. How I wish I have something to give you. God said you have something. I said I don't. He said you have. I said I don't. And I was betting. And he said the home theater and the TV. I told him it's not fair. That the fact that this woman married me is enough punishment. The fact that she's living with me in this one room self-con is a terrible thing. But if I now come and remove the only thing that she can use to keep herself busy and now say I'm giving it to you, it will look like I'm a wicked man. I said I will not do it. I said the only way I can do it, I can't hold anything from you, is if you go and tell her. And I closed the matter. And I went to work. I bet and I went to work. I'd come back from work and she brought food and I sat down, of course, on the floor. Now we don't have chair. I sat down. And she asked me, what did you give God for your birthday? You have not given God for any. I said, I have nothing to give God. He said, you have something. I said, what did you do? She said, pointing to the home theater. I stood up. I said, blessed be the name of the Lord. I said, blessed be the name of the Lord Almighty, who have given his servant. And she said, no. I said, you have said it. That one you said first is where I'm taking. And she was watching it. So I now got up. He said, what do I say? I want to pack it. He said, why? If you are giving it to God, let me be watching now till when you are going to give it to him. I said, so that NEPA will burn it this night. I went to the switch and off it and roll the wires and pull the carton from where it was and package it. Because I have not used it. I just bought it newly. And all the home theater, I packed them. And the next day, it was on the way to church. Why are you looking at me like that? Abraham carried a child that somebody waited for 25 years to have. To go and kill without telling the woman. Sister, I think you want to marry a God-fearing man. You know, they normally say, who do you want to marry? They say, God-fearing man. They don't know what God-fearing man means. It means dagger in your heart many times. Dagger. Who wants to marry a God-fearing man? Okay, their hand has reduced.